Hey, gorgeous.
Hi.
How are you? First and foremost, can we just say how much I love you and how sexy you are?
You
And
can always first and foremost do that.
yeah,
Yes.
that's first and foremost. I met Gabriel back in 2015 on one of my first trips out to Los Angeles. We did like this really fun photo shoot in his backyard where we played with like this color powder stuff. He was like one of my first friends out in LA and just like helped me get my footing in like this new big city. He's easily one of the best photographers I know, and he also does drag and creates like these beautiful looks. And he's just like disgustingly creative. You know, those people you're just like, how is this person got so much skills? And he's always been like this queer icon to me. Just someone who can like live authentically and independent. He's a beautiful soul, and I just figured I might as well share him with you guys today. We had a conversation last month over like what it means to be queer in 2022. We started with the jumping off point of like Twinks and Bears. Like something we never really talk about in the gay community is like the weird like labeling and communities within the larger community. So I thought that'd be a fun way to start off this interview conversation with him. Without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy this chat. So please give a warm welcome to Gabriel Gastelum.
Fire. Three, two, one, action.
Bears and Twinks. What's the lore about like bears, twinks, otters, daddies, pigs, wolves? Like what is all that shit? And like what is your
I
take on
don't,
it?
I mean, you're kind of just like thrust into those kind of categories. Like, to be honest, like all of a sudden, like you go out to a bar or something and they're like, oh, you're a bear. Like, oh, you're an otter. Like, oh, you're a twink. And you're like, what? What does it mean? Obviously I'm labeled as a bear because I'm a big guy, hairy, beard, but it's not like I identify as that label, if that makes sense. It's not like I'm a bear, like it's just kind of like the category I've been put in. From what I know, I mean, the same, honestly, same. I don't know like my history behind it and stuff like that, but from what I know is like the bear subgroup began because they felt ostracized by like men that were like, had six packs and had no hair and like had the ideal body that like they thought people wanted. So the bears, bigger guys with hair, facial hair, whatever, made their own group. I guess kind of in any way, like say you're in high school and like you find your group of like, the band of people, or people have certain interests like ROTC, like you get into those little groups of yours, your friendships, and it just feels like kind of, it's so weird because you're like, oh well, like this is us now, and like we're only gonna hang out with each other, and we're only gonna fuck each other, and I just feel like that part of it is so stupid. Honestly, as a minority and as a drag, I do drag. I've felt ostracized by that group, the bear community, because they're so invested in their masculinity. Anything feminine for them is, this is my experience, obviously. Anything feminine for them is just like a no, like no go. But I'm sure like that's also the same in any other kind of like gay groups, subgroups. Like the misogyny is kind of there in the background. I've never really been like, oh, I'm a bear, or I'm this. I've just mostly been like, I'm queer. I'm just Gabriel.
It like started as a way to celebrate the differences, but
Yeah.
but
But
then
it feels less like that. Yeah, it feels less. And then like I've also, as like time has gone by, I've gone to like, bars or events like Barracuda, Mega Wolf. Like these are events that are catered toward the bear community. And all I've seen is just like, it's like so cliquey. I've seen so much racism within that. and like again misogyny, and just like they feel they created this group to celebrate themselves, but in this at the same time now they're excluding everyone else, and I think this is so dumb. I'm okay with it. I'm not okay with it, but like it's fine because I myself have always very focused on surrounding myself by good people, no matter who you are, except yourself, obviously. But no.
Feeling lonely is not like exclusive to the queer community, but I think we have a really unique perspective on just feeling like internally lonely and lost. But it's like, why do we have to be so like cliquey about it? Like, where do you think the cliquiness comes from? Like, are we being protective about it? Like, you can't come in our club if you're not masculine?
Like, when I started doing drag, I noticed it a lot. Like, I noticed how different they treat you if you just are not part of their subgroup. Like, the fact that, like, I enjoyed, you know, dressing up as a woman, they're just like, oh no. Like, the most misogynistic things have been said to me. Or, like, I remember one time this guy at the Eagle came up to me and he was just like, oh, are you Gabriel? Like, the photographer? And I was like, yes, you know, like, like excited. And he was like, I used to have such a huge crush on you until you started doing that femme shit. And I was like, what? Like, you came up here to say that to me, to my face? It's just like stuff like that. It's just like so weird. I just find it so weird.
It's just fucking cruel to say that. Like, it's like, just say less, you know?
Just say less. We all, like, our community needs a lot of help, obviously. You know, we've all gone through some shit, every queer person. So what are we projecting when we say things like that? Like, why are you so scared? Like, in my mind, I was like, does he hate anything to do with femininity because he was bullied as a kid because he was too femme, you know, or acted queer or gay, you know, like,
right.
Is that where that mindset's coming from? And if that's so, like, that sucks.
Yeah, it's nothing to do with Gabriel.
Yeah. But also, like, you're just kind of acting as a bully now yourself. So.
Yeah. An eye for an eye.
Therapy.
Even the word twink, it almost like I can say it sometimes and it just like sounds derogatory. You know? Like It sounds like I'm like putting down that group. Have you ever felt that way about like the bear community?
Not really. Like, I feel like we say like, oh, he's a twink, oh, he's a bear, just because it's just like so normalized in our community.
Right.
And I've never said it like I've never felt like I said it in a derogatory way, but I mean, I can see why, you know, some people would feel like that. Like, I guess maybe, yeah, like, you know, you definitely have heard friends be like, oh God, like, here come a group of twinks, you know, or something like that. And it's just like, why are you all like labeling them as a negative? You know, when I go to bars now, like, I love going to Precinct in LA because it's like just so mixed. Feels like more of a mixed community. Like, there's people of color, there's bears, there's twinks, otters, non-binary, you know, drag queens, just like kind of all mixing together. And I love like places like that. There's also these communities because of sex and preference of like who you want to have sex with. You know, it's like someone with the body of an Adonis. You know, I think we've been kind of programmed to be like, that's the goal, that's what we want, and that's like the primo of like who is in bed with you. So people don't explore themselves sexually. They don't explore other body types. They don't explore other races because they're just like kind of programmed to like only like focus on one certain type of person. And that's just like by advertisements, movies, like who models, who's big on social media. Like, it's really rare when like a big person, a hairy person is, you know, celebrated. And so yeah, that goes, that's a lot, like that shows a lot, I think, of like why there's different, like these communities have developed because they're just protecting themselves. We're like protecting each other. And I've totally heard in my travels all over the world, totally heard like, oh, like I don't hook up with twinks, or like, oh, I don't hook up with bears, or like, oh, I'm just not into that, or blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, I feel sad for you.
Yeah.
I remember my roommates in LA, like they'd see, you know, we'd all have hookups over and they'd see my hookups come over and be like, we don't know like what you're into or what's your type. It's like living with Cher. There's like different kinds of men all over here.
Just taste the rainbow, honey. That's what we're trying to do. I'm gonna have to blur that out, I think. That was really talented.
Recently, I've been like on Instagram. I've been posting more selfies, more like celebrating my body. You know, like I'm happy with my body. But for a long time, and I mean, it goes in waves, but like I wasn't. And so like recently, I've been more like, okay, I'm gonna embrace like who I am in this body, like this body I'm at. I've always embraced who I am, but I've never been like you said, kind of vocal about it, you know. And just like now, I'm like, oh, you're gonna see me in a jockstrap, and you're gonna like it. God, what would I tell my young self? I feel like when we come out, you know, which is incredibly amazing and brave, come out as whatever, you know, non-binary, gay, trans. I feel like that's a huge accomplishment, but I still feel like once we come out, we still feel kind of scared to be ourselves. I guess I would tell my younger self, like, don't be scared to truly, like, go out there and explore who you are. I remember being, like, I always loved drag, but I never, like, thought it'd be something I could do because I, you know, was just like, oh, like I can't be that fan. And I guess, you know, everyone has their own personal, but I think it was because I was bullied for being, you know, for doing femme things, for liking Barbies, for waving my hand a certain way, you know. And it's something in the back of my mind still kind of held me back. Like, yeah, I was gay and I was out and I was happy, but also like scared, you know. And we're still scared. It's still scary. It's still scary to be LGBTQ. But God, I don't know how to put this into words. Does that make sense? Definitely go out, explore more, explore artists, explore, you know, yourself, go support other queer people, you know, have sex, make out with everyone who can, like have fun. Like if you're gonna be, you know, if you're gonna be out and proud, fucking be out and proud. Yeah.
All right, guys, that is it for this video. If you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up. It helps me, it helps the channel. If you also want to follow Gabriel, I have his links down below. And also down below is my website, my online shop, markedwardmiller.com. You can grab a hoodie or a shirt or a cute little art print for yourself. Thanks for watching, and I love you, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.
I'm a little confused here. What's a twink?
Twink is small and slender, like Mac.
Oh, no. I'm too muscular. I would be a bear.
Don't think so, bro. Not hairy enough.
Smooth. I would be a bear.